this news surprised me. So HoopsHype put the Miami Heat, Jimmy Butler and Terry Rozier as their two possible trade candidates. And this is a team that, after losing in the NBA Finals twice in the last 5 years, the Miami Heat have begun this season hovering around the 500 mark and leaving a lot of people around the league wondering if they have enough. And towards the start of the season, the Brooklyn Nets and the Golden State Warriors were allegedly interested or linked to Jimmy Butler. And while Butler has drawn interest from the Nets in past years, he's not viewed as a fit for the team's current timeline at 35, league sources told HoopsHype. Now, the New York Knicks have expressed interest in Jimmy Butler this past summer, sources said. However, talks didn't go far besides exploratory, and then they pivoted and went for Mikal Bridges. The Warriors, meanwhile, are off to a hot start, and they're one of the top teams in the West. While league circles have been quiet about whether the Houston Rockets or Dallas Mavericks would eventually land Jimmy Butler, who is a Texas native, the Rockets are among the top teams with a young core, and the Mavericks remain a contender. It's also worth noting that executives who've checked in on Butler got the impression that Miami wants to figure out their star's future after the season and not during it. Aside from Butler, the top Heat trade candidate is, they have as Miami's future first-round picks, or they have most of them, is Terry Rozier, as that's what NBA executives have spoken with HoopsHype. The 30-year-old was recently moved to the bench as his scoring production is the lowest in 8 years. He's owed $24.92 million this season and $24.92 million next season, with another $1.72 million non-guaranteed. And the remaining salary becomes fully guaranteed if he participates in the conference semifinals and plays in 70 regular season games. So I'm going to tell you, I've been going to Heat stuff, and they seemed like they were trying to make it work as hard as they can. And I think they're going to try to make it work. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if, I think it is more likely Terry Rozier gets traded than Jimmy Butler does in the middle of the season. And an ideal situation, personally, I think, would be if they could flip Terry Rozier to in a three. I think they would be a team that would be interested in Vazi Micic, because I think Vazi's probably the best point guard available. And I mean, who else would? I think maybe Cole Anthony, but now I think Vazi's better. But I'd rather have Vazi than Cole. And you would try to flip Terry to a different team. Maybe you try to get a Matisse Thybulle from Portland, and Portland sends Robert Williams to Charlotte, and Charlotte sends Vazi Micic to the Heat, and the Heat walk away, and the Heat send draft compensation to one of the teams or something like that, and the Heat walk away with Vazi Micic and Matisse Thybulle, which would cost them $18 million in salary, and they save $6 million in salary. That's actually quite possible, I think.